Jamie and the doctor hauled the rubber boat ashore, then helped Victoria onto the beach. The doctor remained at the water's edge for a moment and gazed out to sea. In one way he looked a rather comical figure in his woolen bobble hat, shabby old frock coat and baggy check trousers. But as his eyes scanned the surface of the gently rolling tide, it was obvious he felt uneasy. The doctor had never really liked the sea. In fact, it was the only thing he really feared. It made him feel insecure, restless. Jamie was quick to recognize the doctor's strange mood. He had seen it many times before, always when the doctor had been anticipating danger. Wandering back to the water's edge, he asked quietly, "What is it, Doctor?" The doctor's eyes were transfixed out towards the sea. "I don't know, Jamie." His face was tensed into a frown as though trying to listen to something. "There's something not right about this place." An ice-cold wind skimmed the surface of the water and swept across the pebbled beach into the sand dunes, sending a funnel of silvery white sand high into the sky. And as the great mist of sand began to settle again, a ghostly, shadowy figure could just be seen, crouched low behind one of the dunes. The doctor and his two companions moved on. As they made their way slowly along the beach, their feet made untidy crunching sounds on the rough, hard pebbles. They had only gone a short distance when the doctor came to an abrupt halt. "That's curious." He was staring at something just by his feet. Victoria wasn't at all concerned. "It's only foam washed in on the tide. You often find it along the seashores." "Maybe so," replied the doctor, bending down to take a closer look at the frothy white substance. "But there's quite a lot here." Victoria turned to look round. The doctor was right. The entire stretch of the shoreline and beach beyond were covered with large patches of sea foam. It was a very weird sight. Jamie bent down beside the doctor. "Do you think there's something wrong?" "I'm not sure." The doctor scooped up a handful of foam and studied it closely for a moment. "Here, Jamie, smell." Jamie put his nose to the handful of foam. As he did so, the doctor suddenly slapped it full into Jamie's face. "Hey!" Jamie was unable to splutter anything more. His face looked as though it was covered in soap suds. The foam also had another curious effect on him, for he immediately burst into a deafening fit of sneezing. The doctor and Victoria doubled up with laughter as they watched Jamie, convulsed with sneezing, wiping foam from his face. Jamie's Highland pride was now aroused, and he quickly retaliated by scooping up handfuls of foam and throwing them at the doctor. An hilarious foam battle quickly ensued, with the doctor and Jamie beginning to look like snowmen, their howls of laughter echoing around the beach. The seabirds were not disturbed because there were no seabirds to be seen. In fact, the sea, the beach, and the cliffs seemed to be deserted of all wildlife. But there were other eyes watching the beach, cold and prying eyes. "Doctor!" Victoria's sudden shout brought the fun and games to an abrupt halt. The doctor and Jamie turned with a start to find Victoria staring at something in the base of a nearby cliff. "Don't touch anything!" the doctor yelled as he ran, with Jamie close behind him. Victoria had discovered an exposed section of aluminium tube curling out of the sand and up into the rock face of the cliff. Apart from a few printed figures on the surface of the tube, there were no obvious clues to reveal either its manufacture or its function. "What is it, Doctor?" she asked. The doctor was tapping the sides of the tube with his knuckles, trying to decipher the printed figures, which were probably some kind of code. "Natural gas, Victoria. It's pumped out of the North Sea into this pipeline." "Gas from the sea?" Jamie gave the doctor